Motley Fool, a private financial company, published that XRP would go below $1 in 5 years, basically to zero. And I'm going to talk about that today. It's going to be a fun one. Ripple, the company, is thriving and growing its payments business, expanding its institutional footprint, by all corporate measures, executing a level that most crypto companies never reach. But that success will not translate to XRP, the token, which they have said is their North Star. Okay. And 5 years from now, XRP will be worth less than $1, which is miles away from the price targets that XRP holders have been talking about. And a lot of analysts and a lot of institutions have been talking about. And so they're discrediting all of that. And I want to be extremely clear about something before we get further into this. I actually am not angry about the prediction. I'm not going to say that Motley Fool is corrupt or biased or part of some kind of coordinated effort to suppress XRP. I'm not even going to deal with that. That's not what this video is about. What I'm just going to show you is that this prediction was written without the most important data available, data that was not hidden, not buried in technical documents somewhere, but data that was in the headlines the same week that the prediction was published. And when you see what was missed, the prediction doesn't just look wrong. It looks like it's written about a completely different asset than the one that actually exists right now. So not sure if a mistake was made on that part or not, but we'll unfold this so you can understand what is really going on. And the name in and of itself is quite interesting. Okay. So I want you to drop in the comments, have you saw this prediction, or do you believe this prediction that XRP is going to pretty much be at $0 in 5 years, and all the institutions that are loading up the $11 million a day that has been taking place over the last several months? Has everybody been fooled? You let me know your thoughts about it. Now let's get into it. Let me explain what they said and why the argument falls apart. So first, let's start by giving the actual argument, because it deserves a fair hearing before I show you why it does not hold up at all. Now, the Motley Fool thesis is essentially this, and I'll kind of reiterate a little bit of what I said before and go a little further into detail. So again, Ripple has built this successful payment company with partnerships and relationships, and it has regulatory clarity after years of SEC litigation. The company is growing, but the token XRP doesn't actually need to appreciate for Ripple's business to succeed. And Ripple can route payments, process transactions, expand its network, and generate revenue without XRP becoming more valuable. Therefore, the company thriving doesn't mean that the token is going to thrive. So that argument can sound a bit reasonable if someone knows nothing about what's going on with XRP, okay? And honestly, for most crypto projects, it would be correct, okay? But most tokens also have a very loose relationship to the underlying business. So the company succeeds, but the token does something unrelated. Now, that argument requires a fundamental misunderstanding of how XRP actually functions inside of Ripple's infrastructure. And I want to show you exactly where it breaks down from that standpoint. So let's start with the nostro vostro problem, because this is the foundation of the entire XRP use case and the part that most bearish predictions will tend to overlook. Okay. So right now, banks that want to send money across borders have to pre-fund accounts in foreign currencies in every country that they operate in. If a bank wants to send dollars to the Philippines, they have to have a pre-funded account sitting in the Philippines denominated in Philippine pesos. So the money sitting there idle, doing absolutely nothing, and it's waiting to be used if it's going to be used.